go ahead and get started. Just wanted to take this time to show you how to submit team travel requests in shorts. We're really excited to offer this to our club teams now, or some of our club teams right now. So as you can see, all the club teams, the head coaches are on the call. Jason Calhoun, who couldn't be here today. So just want to make sure that you have everything you need to submit travel requests. Obviously, it might not be at the volume of a varsity team, or you might not fly a ton, but just want to give you the tools that you need to do it. So when that time comes again next year, if you've already done it, you can do it, or if you haven't yet this year, we can get those taken care of. So I'm going to share my screen. Dimitri and Arthur, this screen may look new to you. I think Dave's at least seen this once, maybe. This is the homepage of the Shorts portal. Now, after this, I'll send you instructions about how to create a profile and get in here. But for now, we'll just kind of go through the training. So there's kind of two areas of Shorts. There's the individual area where people book like individual business and recruiting travel, which you're absolutely welcome to do as well. And then there's the team portion, which we're going to go over today. And that's in this sports tab is kind of where all group travel is kind of handled, or at least your team profiles are edited. So once I click here, you'll see there's a drop down. So right here, you can see there's men's rugby, Arthur mixed squash there as well, mixed skiing. So Dimitri, you can see you're in there as well. So you'll just have to select the proper drop down. So we'll select Dave for now. And Dave, you can see your contact information is already in here based on when we first got you set up, I think a month or two ago. So the general team info, which is the tab we're on right now, this displays the primary, secondary contacts for travel. So anytime there's, any general issues, this is who they'll contact. I just recommend putting yourselves as the primary. And if you have a secondary, an assistant coach or something like that, you can obviously put them in there as well. It is nice. There is a drop-down menu that you can select from and change that information. So once you fill out your individual profile, Shorts will be able to pull that info, and then you can edit it as fit. So there's kind of three things we have to take care of this morning. First is creating your team profile. The second is uploading a team roster, although the team roster is more used for flights. So if none of you are flying, we'll skip over that portion. And then how to actually submit the request. So team profile is very straightforward. The important part about completing this information is all of your preferences and info. A lot of times will pre-populate in your request. So a lot of times you won't have to fill in all the information over and over again. A lot of it will pre-populate. So again, very standard information. The primary contact, the emergency contact, I always recommend it being the head coach. And then you'll see each information, each portion of travel, you can put in your preferred requirements and vendors. So flying, if you have a preferred vendor you like to fly, like Delta, you can put that in there. If you like flying out of Providence versus Boston, and any special requests related to your flights, if you want coaches to sit next to each other or towards the front of the plane, student athletes in the back, things like that. Charter information you can leave blank. If you ever charter, we can cross that bridge when we get there. Preferred hotel chains. So again, this would be something where if you like staying at Marriott's or things like that, you can put that info here. Single room and double rooms. You can put this in if you want. This will just be maybe a general estimate of the number of rooms you might need for any given trip. Budgeted room rate, you do not have to fill this out, but you're welcome to. Obviously, you know your budgets. If you have questions, you can always, reach out to Susan. Meeting room requirements for your hotel. So if you need a meeting room with AV or anything like that, you can always put that in here. And then special requests. A big one always to put in there is bus parking. So you can see in the parentheses here, it has some suggestions of things people ask for, like Wi-Fi in their rooms. If you want to room up, things like that. Pretty straightforward. And then here, ground transportation. So the first portion is rentals, so non-motor coach buses. So if you're using vans, so Dimitri, in your case, Ski uses vans from time to time. This is where you put in a preference about, the size of van you might need for any trip, things like that. You can put that in here. And then motor coach preferences. So I kind of want to go over this. So Arthur, for this year, and Dave knows this too, we have renewed our agreement with Academy, and we have extended that to club teams as well. So I think I can't remember the vendor you used last year. I forget the name, but Academy, we have a really good deal with them, and just based on the pricing alone for this year, from what you did last year, it's going to be cheaper for you. So really, really nice part about going through Shorts is you'll be able to use Academy. So again, you can put your motor coach preferences here, and that'll pre-populate in your travel requests. So the size of the bus, whether it's a 23, 38 passenger, I think it goes up to 54. Things to put here if you need any special equipment that needs to be accommodated, trip to trip, things like that. And then you click save, and then that information will be saved. Again, very straightforward with the team profile. So on to team members. So again, this portion is more for if you're flying. So if you're not going to fly at all, you can disregard this. I think maybe Dimitri might fly maybe once. I can't remember which club teams fly, but
we do.
You do? Okay. So I would say there's kind of two ways to go about this. The first is to click on the create new team members, and you can add each player individually. For uploading your roster the first time, I don't recommend that, and I recommend importing from the spreadsheet. So when you click on that, you can see they provide a sample spreadsheet, and this is what you should use to actually upload the info for the first time. And I'll download this. This has been downloading a little funky as of late, so I do apologize. I've connected with IT and I still haven't heard back. So I'll just have to shrink the rows here so you can see what's happening. You probably can't see my screen yet, so I will do a new share here in a sec. Okay, can you guys see that sheet all right?
Yep.
Cool. So this is a very straightforward sheet. You kind of have to follow the formatting on it. So first name, last name, middle name, that should be how it appears on their license or passport, because obviously that's how the tickets will be issued for your flights. Their date of birth needs to be in this format. Gender, male or female, there's a drop down. The weight, so the weight is required to do the upload. So if you leave the cells empty, the spreadsheet in Shorts won't upload. But it's only for charter purposes specifically. Commercial airplanes, based on how many people are flying in the band, like you don't need to add your weight, but it's more for charter so they know what size plane to get. So if you just want to put in 150 for everyone or keep it standard, that's fine. Traveler type. So you can see here, there's a blue table that shows the traveler types. Student, athlete, coach, very straightforward. If you have a trainer traveling with you, you would select that, or in this case, manager. So, if Jake Silverman were to travel with you, Dave or Arthur, things like that, trainer / manager would be appropriate. And any non-athlete, so I would say anybody that's not your, direct supervisor or a trainer, like someone from sports information staff, someone other administrative unit, someone from Yusuf was traveling, things like that. Known traveler number. So this is a really good place to put a TSA pre-check if you or any of your student athletes have it. Again, it's not required to upload it. And then the redress number, if you know it, you can put it in. Again, not required. This is just a redress number is issued to people that have the same name as someone that's on the do not fly list. So, yeah. So I think they ran into some issues once upon a time long ago. And then special requests. So if you want an aisle seat, if someone on your team has a peanut allergy and peanuts cannot be opened on the plane for any reason, things like that, you could put in there. And then you just save it. And then from here, go back to the short screen. You would then just choose the file. And then it'll display here. And then once you click upload file, you'll see the red text display above here, whether it's been successfully uploaded or not. And so then I'll show you what a completed roster looks like. So I'll just pick on field hockey here. You can see this is what it looks like displayed. So from year to year, I recommend maybe not uploading the roster, depending on how many kids you have changed from year to year, and maybe you can just delete them and then go in and add a couple new ones. If you do the upload wrong for any reason, you can click on this pencil feature and just edit any information and save.
So from year to year, I can go in, I could delete those that graduate, and then I can create a new spreadsheet with the new people and upload that to the existing one.
That is a really good question, actually. That I don't know. I'll have to check back with you, actually, if it just like adds the additionals. So I'll let you know what I hear on that.
80 to 90 guys.
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely, probably the spreadsheet's the best option. So
yeah, oh yeah, I'm not doing individual.
Yeah, good to know. Actually, I'm gonna write that question down. Cool. Awesome. All right. So once those are taken care of, the last step is actually booking your travel requests. So if you go to book a trip, and then you'll see this group travel request form here. You click on that. And then you click on submit a new group travel request. Before I show you that, there is a function called search past travel requests. So as you're going through and doing these, if you want to like reference what you did like the previous time, you can click on this and you can search on the drop down, the trips you selected. So I'll pick on John Malcone, he does Club 2, and you can see here his prior trips that he submitted. So if you just click on that magnifying glass, it'll show you what you just submitted previously. So if you want to copy some of this information or just reference it in another tab while you're going through, a helpful option. So we'll go to submit new travel request, and it takes you to this page. So I'm not sure if the sport pre-populates. It doesn't for me because I'm an administrator on the site. So if I just click the drop down, Dave will again do this because I know your information's in here. Actually, Arthur, yours might be too. Oh yeah, no, Arthur, your name's not in there yet.
Go up. I'm up right in the top.
Oh, yep. There we go. So again, you can see your information pre-populates, Dave, when I select you as a travel contact. And then again, You can switch it from trip to trip if you don't want to be the travel contact. Again, I probably think you will. The general trip details, so trip name / opponent, I just recommend putting in the opponent. Number of attendees, this will be the max number of people that'll be traveling with you. Please include everybody. So if you're driving and you're taking a bus somewhere and you're staying at a hotel, please make sure you include your bus driver. We don't want your bus driver sleeping on the bus. So again, that'd just be the max number. You can either use the up arrow, you can just enter in. So let's say 40. And then the destination, just put the city and state that you're traveling to in this area.
Do you need to include the bus driver in with your travel roster?
So when you say travel roster,
Like if I put in, I'm going to Princeton overnight and, we're going by bus, I'm taking, 46 kids, 4 coaches. Obviously I can calculate how many rooms I need, but in here I would put in, let's say it comes out to 50. I'd put in 51 because I need one for the bus driver. But do I need to account for him in that sort of roster for that trip?
Yeah, I would say so. Yep. So just to make sure that they've got a room and nothing's missing, that they're traveling with you. Absolutely. Good info. And then here, alternate travel contact. Unfortunately, this isn't a drop-down menu, so you just have to enter this information. So if you want a secondary contact, you can. You can see the booking contact pre-populates to whoever is submitting the request, which is nice based on when you log in your profile. So that will be the person that Shorts connects with to confirm options after you submit. So again, each of these has yes or no. So we'll go through all of them just so you can see what it looks like. So this is airline reservations. Again, always keep it to commercial. I recommend doing the round trip if you're just going to one place and back. If you are traveling to multiple destinations, this is a nice feature. You can go destination 1, destination 2, go through those, which is nice. Again, departure airport, I just recommend city or state. If you know the name of the airport, that suffices for both of those. Departure date, there is a calendar function, or you can type it in. And then the time, it has just like a 2-hour range. So again, if you need to leave at a specific time, this is something you'll put in the notes here, but or as you confirm with Shorts, as they look for flights, they'll make it easier if you have a set time you want to leave, but just the range for now. And then again, details about your air. So when I showed you the team profile, that details section, that's going to pre-populate here once you save your team profile. So trip to trip, it'll just be there. And if you have anything to change or back out, you can. So again, anything related to any given trip that isn't listed here that you want to include it here. The more information, the better. Hotel arrangements. This is pretty straightforward. I recommend going through both of these first before calculating the total number of rooms. Again, this is for varsity. There's a little bit more different recommendations, but for doubles, this should be student athletes. We really recommend 1 student athlete per bed. We want to make sure their experience here is good. Again, club travel is a little different because there's not the university appropriation like our varsity teams. So if for any reason student athletes are bunking up, just account for that. But again, our recommendation is to have 1 student athlete per bed if your budget allows. Number of kings, that should be non-student athletes, so coaches, trainers, or your managers. And then once you have that number of information, so let's say day 4 coaches plus the bus driver, that's 5. And let's say you have 20 student athletes, so that'd be 10 rooms. If everybody has 1 bed, 15 rooms. preferred hotel. So this, in this situation, I know it says preferred hotel, but you can see in the gray text that says game location. So please put the address of where you're playing here, or at least at the bare minimum, the facility name. This is important so shorts can get a hotel close to your game location. So you're not traveling, an hour plus from your hotel to the game.
Unless you want to, like, there's times where we've gone destinations, left Friday night, gone 3/4 of the way there, rather than drive a 8-hour bus ride or whatever it is,
Sure. And that's definitely an option too. And as you confirm those, that's a really good point, Dave. As you confirm those, you can say, if you've made this trip before, this would be something where you could put in like the hotel you like staying at in that area, or, kind of list, if you want to make that stop. Absolutely. Check-in, check-out dates, very straightforward. Just use the calendar function or type in the dates in that format. And then the details about your hotel. So again, it's going to pre-populate the details section from your team profile here. And then from trip to trip, you can edit information based on what you need. If you need a meeting room, bus parking, if you want to stay, an hour outside and you have a hotel you like staying at trip to trip here, that's where you put that information in. Ground transportation. So this is kind of the big one for everyone here. So do you require a car rental? So this would be if you're using a Brown University owned vehicle or leased vehicle. So like 12 to 15 passenger vans, this would be the car rental section. So in this case, you would select yes. And then you would say the number of rentals that are needed. So if it's, car, van, whatever. So if you need, 2 12 to 15 passenger vans, you would put that here. And then in the size, you would put 15 passenger van. And then the driver's names. This part is super important. So the drivers are listed on the rental reservation, and also so we can check to make sure that they're authorized. Again, Brown's very strict on the driver authorization piece. And we have worked with Susan to outline the exact policy details. For club teams, obviously, and more so geared at you, Dimitri, obviously student athletes have to drive sometimes. Just based on sometimes there's not always a coach, or there's only one coach and there's, 2 vans. So just make sure that student athlete is authorized to drive. And if you do have questions about that process, we can email that to you, Dimitri.
Yeah, that would be great actually, because I think we'll probably try and use the van mostly, but if we could have 1 or 2, or maybe 1 or 2 cars, student cars as well.
Yeah, and I think the important part too is like if obviously we prefer you to drive, but in those situations, especially if you're traveling a little more of a distance and you want an additional driver, and it have to be a student, just make sure that they've gone through those channels. So we'll send that along. Motor coach bus. So again, in this situation, Arthur and Dave, this would be Academy. So you just click yes. Motor coach pickup location. This would be where you're getting picked up in Providence. Academy is very familiar with all of our buildings. So if you just want to list a building or an address, you can put that info here. And then the competition location. So obviously, as you confirm your hotel, they'll have that info in the itinerary. But we want to put in the competition destination here. If for some reason you are flying and you need a bus to the airport, and then you need a bus where you're competing, you still want to put in here your competition bus in the first section with the pickup and drop off dates. So when you're getting picked up from the airport and your competition, and down here in the exact same format, you would put in your bus to and from the airport. So you would say, motor coach, pickup, location and just kind of go down the line. And again, if this is something, Dave, more specifically geared toward you, that you wanted to put in the details about your ground transportation and it'll pre-populate, you can always delete it at a later time, or you can just add it when needed, but that's kind of how you handle.
Let me back up just a second on that one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we're going on a trip. We're flying out of Boston. We're going, I don't know, Atlanta, right?
Mhm.
So the pickup location, is that, do I do it in order of what I need? So from Brown to Boston first in here, and then in the details, I put the second one in there, or I do it the reverse?
it does, honestly, it really doesn't matter.
Okay,
Yeah, just whatever's easiest for you. I would say if you are doing the first bus here, Brown to the airport, so Brown and then the airport, then you can just say bus 2,
yes, okay, gotcha.
2, bus 2, competition bus,
Yep,
and then put in those details. And then down here, bus 3, bus from airport back to Brown.
got
Yeah,
it.
you can keep it in a row. Yeah, for sure. Just make sure it's labeled and clear. So when they come to Marty Ann, she knows. And you know, she's getting good at this. So she's processed a lot of them. So she'll have the
Oh, nice.
information.
She's been
Things.
awesome.
So,
Yeah.
again, trip to trip, if you're only, doing bus, which, for, I think a lot of our teams, not necessarily overnight, it's more buses or maybe an overnight in a bus. You could just do ground transportation. So Dimitri, for you, if you're just using vans, and you need to rent those, you can go through shorts and those will route to, again, the appropriate people. So once you click submit, you'll get an email to your Brown email address, and I'm going to show you what that looks like real quick here. And I'm going to send all this information that I'm showing you and some shorts literature after this to reference, because Dave, for you, you might not be booking again for a little while, so this might not be as fresh when you do it again, but just want to kind of go through those. So first one. All right, share my screen here. Where is, oh, here we go. So you can see here, this is the email that'll come through. This is women's soccer. So it'll be group travel requests, no address at shorts, and it'll say, thank you for submitting your request, yada, yada, 3 to 5 business days. That's their goal, to get you options. And then the turnaround time for the quote is usually around 10. So again, if it's time sensitive, so Dave, in the situation where we moved from, who did we use previously? I'm drawing a blank on the name.
The buses, Friendship.
Yeah. So again, going from there to here, if it's a little more time sensitive.
Yeah, I might have a couple of those, like playoffs coming up and stuff. So
Dimitri had to hop off. He has another meeting. So again, Arthur, and both of you, as long as we get the bus requests in at least 2 weeks prior, Academy should be able to accommodate. Anything sooner than that, it's not a guarantee. And in those situations, there are other options if it comes short notice to try and secure you a quote. So again, whoever you used last year, if it comes down to it, or we can go through STM. But Academy's pricing is good, and you will save money going through Academy this year. So, and Dave, I think you can reference that
totally.
too. You definitely save money going through Academy. So, couple more things I want to show you. The hotel options spreadsheet. So this is another big one. So So this is what the spreadsheet looks like. This is just an example of what Track got for their Arizona State trip this spring. So this is what comes through to you. It's got a lot of information on here. Each column is its own hotel, and I'll have the trip, and then I'll say, each hotel that you can stay at. And then it'll have a ton of options, the single rate before taxes, the double rates, meeting room rental, does it have complimentary projector and TV, cancellations, complimentary breakfast, which we try to negotiate as a part of the rate. Anyways, all this stuff, Wi-Fi, complimentary bus parking if it costs something, all this information that you can consider. And when Short sends that to you, and then from there you confirm your options. From here, once you submit the requests, all of this is really done by email. So confirming your options, and then the contract is signed, and Marty Ann fills out a credit card authorization, and you're not charged. Bus itineraries are due at a certain date, and Marty Ann will reach out. Rooming lists for your hotel are due at a certain date. And again, I'll show you what the flight version of that looks like once you've confirmed your flights. So again, I'll zoom in here, but this is what just an example of the email you would get with confirming your flights outside of the tickets. So you can see here that you have confirmed below the passengers to Indiana. It says the airline confirmation, the cost per ticket, the vendor, where you're flying to, and all that, your flight number. And then it'll say when your passenger names are due. It'll show you when your ticketing is due. It'll tell you about name changes and all those things. So again, as you get these emails with your travel requests, again, travel is super important to get right. So I highly recommend that you're looking at them right away. But yeah, other than that, I think this process is straightforward. Again, if you have questions about it, definitely feel free to reach out to me, and I can point you in the right direction. Shauna, our new on-site travel coordinator, she handles booking all of our group flights, and then anything that's under the group like rate for hotels or rental cars or things like that, she might handle. Dave, you've worked with Cheyenne, obviously she handles group hotels. So Arthur, if you were to stay overnight at a hotel, Cheyenne Kuzno, or I think she might have just remarried, so her last name changed. Cheyenne at Shorts will reach out to you with your hotels, and then Marty and our business manager here, she handles Academy as of right now. So yeah. Any questions for me? Arthur, I know you can't talk, but if you want to chat one in. Dave, you got anything?
No, I mean, everything that we've already done, like all my travel that's been submitted is in there. I don't have to enter that in again, right?
Yeah, no, yeah. Everything that you've submitted is in there. You don't have to submit again, or that you've worked out. Again, if you have some trips for the spring that you haven't submitted yet, that'd be something to get to at some point here, but.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I mean, the sooner you do it, the better price you get and options, obviously, you might not know your dates and times yet, so you just have to wait, sort of thing. So.
Yep. Yeah, like we're trying to play Fordham in a few weeks, and they haven't. I don't know if I have to go Friday night, if they are having an early morning sort of kickoff time. They haven't told me yet. I'm trying to get them to commit to a time. So.
Yeah, and I'd say as you're submitting things, if you have questions and something's time sensitive, there's the travel@brown.edu email. And again, I'm going to follow up with this information after this. That you can reach out to at any given time if you have questions, and obviously me too. So
yeah, perfect.
Oh, let me look at the chat here. Have a few will email. Okay, so you already submitted Academy with Marty Ann? Nice. Okay. Well, we're on it. Again, if it's just Academy, we're working through it. We'd like things to live in here, so communication's obviously streamlined. Because it's just easier for shorts to reference, but obviously if it's just Academy, Marty Ann will handle, but now So
Perfect.
if you have any hotels, Arthur, too, maybe we can submit those in the portal too and get those handled and try to expedite those. So, all right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, bud. Take care.
Yeah, you too.